Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equities Story. I'm with the one and truly the amazing Mr. Wolf. And how you doing, Wolf?
Very good. Lots of announcements today, because obviously you remember we're right smack in the middle of our reporting season, and there's some really good results. However, maybe
However,
the share price
however,
does not quite go through that. No.
and however, Wolf, before we say that, you're going to say this is just general share advice and not personal advice, as per the disclaimer, aren't you?
Yes, absolutely, because that's your job. Anyway, we've done that, which is good, because I remember we always talk about just the stories, just the charts, nothing personal involved in our discussing stocks. So going back to the reporting season, there's some really nice results today, but the share prices are a little bit weak, I suppose, because I think it's the market's just generally a little bit scared of what might happen next.
Wolf, let's
Russia, right?
Well, let's go there. Let's have a look at some
Mm-hmm.
MNY.
Yes,
Very strong announcement.
pretty good from what I can see.
Up to 350. Then all the sellers come in.
Yeah, so you got to ask yourself why, and why is that happening? And I think they want to go up, but there's lots of profit takers coming in, so it's just a skittish market. They don't want to take it any further at this stage, right?
Definitely. I mean, look at SWM, the same story, right?
Yeah.
And
Dave, when you look at MNY, for example, right? So it's trading. It's not as if it's expensive. It's trading on 16 times with a 4% dividend yield, right? So it's decent. But then you go to SWM, like you said,
yeah,
and that's trading ridiculously low levels. I think it's on about 5 times PE. Probably the only thing that's going against it is it's got no dividend. So they didn't say anything about the dividends, unfortunately, which maybe that's what the market was hoping for and expecting. They don't see the dividend. They go, nah, I'm out. Thank you. But for us, Dave, we're not here for the dividend. We're here for the growth. We're here for the recovery of the story. And the actual result was very good. And remember, we're buying upgrades. That was a big upgrade today, 10%. I'm buying this.
So at the moment, Wolf is trading about. So you'd be buying this not from a trading point of view, from a long-term point of view.
Yeah. From let's call it from a long-term trade point of view. Okay, let's meld those two things together. So I'm looking for 12 months performance out of this. Like I said, don't worry about the dividends. We're not here for the dividends on this one. We're here for seeing the share price get back to that 80, 90, even $1 type performance, because they also talked about that the ad market is very, very strong. Most of the business divisions are firing on all cylinders. So really, I don't think they should be going back to the market. And I know that this has been a real dog when it came to raising capital and diluting. That's why they're only at something 70 cents. But I think that's past them now, Dave. So for me, that should be on the way up further.
And so you'd be looking for a target price around that sort of 94, 95?
Yeah, I'll be happy with 90 cents. I mean, that's already 20, 30% from 70 cents.
So let's just reiterate that. Wolf liked the story. Obviously, we like the charts. It hasn't gone on with it today. We feel the market's being a little bit harsh because of the dividend. So if you took that long-term view, this is not a short-term trade by any means, but if you took that long-term view and you said, right, I'm going to bet in here for a year, I'm going to get my stop loss somewhere just under that 0.61, 0.59, which really, if it went below that, there'd be obviously a bigger problem with world markets. So we've got a stop loss on it. We're going to target that 20% in a year, and happy days if we got it.
Yeah, look, Dave, at least from our point of view, we've already talked about this when it was in 40, 50 cents, right, as a trade. So if whoever's in this already, just hold on still and probably look to just update your stop losses on here, right? Because really, at the end of the day, good looking chart still, great performances. So from a fundamental technical point of view, it's a hold.
Yeah, and so thank you for that, Wolf. So really interesting, a little trade that's got on there. While we're talking about some trades, let's go through those at the moment. SGM. You look at that chart, Wolf, and you say, right, if it ends like this by the end of the week, you buy it. Okay, there's issues at the moment. Obviously, Russia, Ukraine. When you look at the announcement and you look at the value, and you look at the situations in the world at the moment, would you still look at going into SGM?
Yeah, I do, because I'm looking past, say, the war, right? I'm looking at the actual dynamics of where they're in at the moment. So there's robust pricing for them. And I had a look through their results today. They look obviously very good on paper. There's some, crazy numbers in there, but that's coming off a low base. So that's understandable. But it's the outlook. They didn't give a full guidance, so to speak, as in other words, monetary guidance, but they talked about the markets. There's still second half looking pretty robust, like the first half was, which was a big plus. They're also talking about its market. So they've got a lot of recycling done, right? Especially, so they're saying if they, with the world's moving into the green direction of electrification and so on, the recycling will be a big part of that, right? So it's a nice, interesting play on the theme as well. So you've got a story that's probably now it's sort of maybe past its worst and on the way up. It's not expensive by any stretch of the imagination. I think I looked at it on today's results. It looks cheap, but can they sustain it? No. But if you just say they're probably trading on it between 10 and 16 times without full guidance, I think still that's pretty attractive, right? So for me, it's a buy here, and I'll probably want to write this from, say, 17 to 20 bucks to start off with.
Wolf, I think I agree. When you look at the charts as well, you've got a very nice natural stop just under that 16. Mm-hmm. So you could easily say, if it didn't hold 16, we've got it wrong. There's an issue, or the markets are going low, and we get out. So I think if we can go for a nice little stop below there. We can look to buy this target. I think target that 1980, just under the 20, where it'll be a bit of profit taking, and hopefully we can make a nice little trade there. So looking forward to that one. The next one, which I think a lot of people are already in, it was a no-brainer. Then it was a hot stock. But again, the announcement was good today, Wolf, and you want to buy things which are moving up. I think still there's a trade in this. I think if you can buy it sort of, at the moment it's 339. If you can buy it under 49, say 49.45, you've got a stop loss of 47.45 and a target price somewhere up near these highs around that 54. I think again would be a nice little trade.
Yeah, again, the results today were fantastic, especially the bottom line, and the dividend was up 50%. So, we're treating this as a dividend with growth story, really, right? So it was a no-brainer. Thank God it worked out. So if you're still in this, hold on. And like Dave said, if you're not in it, there's a trade for you right there.
And it's one I quite like because it is also a war stock which would benefit from a bit of war. So, talking about war stocks, Wolfie, SGM and most probably SWM, because it's cheap, will most probably hold up quite well if we had issues in Ukraine, correct?
Should.
Right, okay. Now, a few more announcements today, Wolf. We had Seek, which is actually moving up nicely. Now, technically, it's a little bit too soon for me. Fundamentally, what did you make of it all?
Look, if I didn't know charts, I saw that result, I'd be buying it, right? But again, I'd have to have a long-term view on this. It's not cheap. That's why you've got to have a long-term view, because at the moment, the market's going through a change, and some of these stocks are getting sold off. So overall, I'm a holder at the very least, and maybe a nibbler if I've got a long-term view. But I can understand, from your point of view.
But the issue with this is it's trading on 53 times. It's expensive.
Exactly. So
it's below trend. So it knocks.
I would not be trading this at all. I think it's going to struggle. But at the very least, if you do have that long-term view, sit there for 3 years, you should make some money out of this, because I think the growth is strong enough for it to that P to drop down significantly over the 3 years.
AMS, Wolf. So obviously been in a really, really strong downturn really since November. Again, what was wrong with the announcement today?
Nothing. There was nothing wrong with the announcement.
It was very good, wasn't it? I mean,
it was.
I think they ticked all the boxes. They did exactly what they said they've got to do. Again, we saw the stock jump up on the announcement and get sold off straight away.
I think what the problem was with the announcement, Dave, They didn't have any upgrades in there.
Yeah. No.
Which is absolutely stupid thing to say, but this is what the market's like at the moment, isn't it?
Well, they had. I thought that I was surprised because they are mentioning new products and that are coming, which you think the market would have rewarded slightly, but when you look at on all the metrics, Wolf, it's very, very cheap, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much everything went according to plan, right? You look at all the metrics from revenue side to bottom line to margins to outlook. It all ticks boxes for me. So it's just the market right now is not interested, and we just got to be patient because we know this is undervalued significantly. So if they can stay around this $90 to $1 mark over the next, say, 6 months, I think that we'll have a nice launch pad back to that 150, 160 again in the second half, maybe.
All right. On that note, Wolfie, thank you very much. We've been a little bit brave today. We've come out with a few trading ideas, and let's see. Hopefully, we can make some money. I'm just having a look at the moment. Actually, I might have to just nibble that buy price up of SWM to 72.5 because it is moving up since we've been talking, Wolf. And obviously, I think with SGM, just be patient. Try and get it under that 17.10 or 17. Maybe it'll come back later in this afternoon, Wolf, a little bit later.
Yep, agree.
Thanks, Wolfie. Absolutely brilliant as always. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Don't forget that tonight we've got our Ask the Analyst, so please join us.
Yeah, live at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Thanks, Wolf.
Thank you.